All right, what's up everyone and welcome to the video. I'm today here with Danny, Max and Luca, and we'll do something super special in today's video. We'll actually take you behind the scenes and show you step by step how Danny Max scaled Bashar. And I guess all of you guys watching this video right now, right here, know who Bashar is. Bashar is this Amazon guy from Instagram with 2.7 million followers with the beard, right? Everyone has seen him everywhere. And Danny Max are actually the two guys behind Bashar. They did the whole marketing and literally scaled him from 0 to over 2.7 million followers in under 2 years and over $20 million cash collected, right? That's not gross sales or some random revenue numbers. That's cash collected, money that came into the bank account. And in the record month, they actually did over $3 million. And yeah, we'll just have a super smooth talk here today, maybe for an hour, 2, 3. Let's see what the video brings. And we will literally take you behind the scenes and show you step by step the actual numbers. Like Max will in a second jump into the tracking sheet, the sales tracking sheet, and show you the numbers, how fast they scaled from 0 to over $3 million a month. And yeah, we'll do interview style where I'll ask Danny Max some questions about their biggest learnings, the biggest mistakes. And I guess if you're a coach or consultant, right, you have an online business, an e-learning business, then this video is going to be like super extremely valuable for you. Because to be honest, I don't know anyone in this space, especially on Instagram. And, you know, Instagram and influencer marketing is becoming the new Facebook ads, right? Facebook ads was hot, I don't know, 5 years ago, it was working super well. But right now, influencer marketing is that new thing that's working so well. Danny Max, you know, what's the average return that you guys had per ad spend? Maybe to give people an idea.
Around 6 or 7, but this was while scaling, right? So let's say if we stopped scaling and we just said, let's not spend any more money the next month, the returns would go basically into infinity. Right? But as long as we were scaling, almost we can say sometimes even doubling the ad spend month to month, we had a return on ad spend of around 7, and this was on cash collected, not revenue. Very important.
And the beautiful thing about all this is that with influencer marketing, you don't just build an email list or just sales, you also build your personal brand. And that's like probably one of the most valuable assets to have in today's world, because even if you stop promoting, if you have a page with like 500,000 followers, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million followers, you can just promote your own product for free, right? And that's like just insanely valuable.
Yeah, true. I always tell people, you know, because I've been running my coaching business and I've been teaching people about Instagram and how to build theme pages and personal brands for the last 5 years now. And I always compare theme pages, but even a personal brand, it's kind of like digital real estate, right? You build it or buy it once, you grow it, but then you will always be able to produce cash flow, right? Always, no matter what. But anyways, before we jump into the tracking sheet and show you the actual numbers behind the scenes of Bashar and how he scaled from, or how Danny Max scaled him from 0 to $3 million a month, maybe give people like a broad idea, you know, because earlier we talked about return on ad spend. How much money were you guys spending like in the record month?
In the record months, like 300,000-400,000 USD.
Nice. That's amazing. So influence, I mean, you guys didn't even max the whole thing out, right? It's just like business niche. And how many pages were you running on? Like 500 or something?
Around 4 or 500. It was always like variable, but 400 or 500.
Got it. Yeah. So it's super scalable. But anyways, I'd say let's maybe jump into the tracking sheet and show people the actual results black and white.
Max, yeah, 100%. So let me share my screen. Let me know. Can you see this, guys?
Yes.
Perfect. So this is basically back when we started. October is very beginning. As you can see here, the total cash collected was 4,600, and you'll see profit here, but that's simply cash collected after ad spend. So basically what's left in the bank account after deducting the ad spend, and you can see like 4.6 in cash and 2,700 after ad spend, which is, you know, not much. And yeah, that was just like the very beginning, the very beginning. Go ahead, Niklas.
Yeah, maybe a little interruption over here to give people a little bit of background of how you started with Bashar. How many followers did he have at that point? How much money was he making from Instagram? Did he start from 0? Like, how was the situation back in October 2020 when you started working with Bashar?
Yeah, so Bashar basically was making nothing from Instagram. He was making something via YouTube ads and Facebook ads, but it didn't work out too great. Returns weren't too great. And that's also what you talked about, you know, in the beginning of the video, Niklas, is that Facebook ads, they just tend to perform worse and worse. And that's also what happened for Bashar. And he was making 0 from Instagram. he had around 15,000 followers, which were actually fake followers. Like his posts were getting like, I don't know, 20 likes. So like completed that account, and we just more or less like kickstarted the account with influencer marketing, sent new traffic to his page. And so we basically started from zero in October 2020.
I just want to interrupt. Bashar had a very common issue in this space, which was his business was dependent on Facebook ads. And as you all know, scaling Facebook ads can be quite tricky. It isn't very scalable. It's become very, very, very competitive. Almost everyone started running Facebook ads. And then most people at some point had an issue of their Facebook accounts being shut down and the whole business losing leads from one day to the other. And this was the reason why Bashar said, okay, let me look into this Instagram influencer marketing thing. And he reached out to us because we had a team page. And then we, after some time of giving him free value, we said, okay, let us onboard Bashar, not just sell him shoutouts through our team page, but let's help him scale his business through influencer marketing, because we believe that influencer marketing was way more scalable than Facebook ads. And we proved him that it was.
And by the way, like, quick question over here: how much previous experience, when it comes to all this like influencer marketing stuff, Instagram stuff, funnel building a sales team in general, growing a coaching business, did you guys have when you first started working with Bashar back in 2020?
For us, it was nothing. Like we really just started out. Denny, and especially Denny and also me had experience of building team pages with Instagram content. So we didn't know how to create content, but we haven't done any influencer marketing, any promotions at all. So that was basically our first big project of influencer marketing, and it turned out insanely well. And that's also what other people that started using influencer marketing have seen when they started to implement it.
Oh, that's cool. So you basically started from zero, and while scaling Bashar so fast, like you learned, throughout the journey super fast, adopted, etc., etc. Of course, made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I do have to say we had a lot of business experience from other niches, right? Like software, like manufacturing, and we kind of like I believe what we've done right was we took this experience and this know-how and we implemented this in this niche where most people didn't apply those principles, right? So we were kind of like the company which was most professional about this and most serious about it, right? And I think that's what kind of like escalated the whole thing.
Yeah. Got it. Makes sense. But yeah, anyways, let's maybe go through the
numbers. Let's go through the numbers, because we're still stuck at 2,700 here in the first month. But yeah, as you can see, ad spend 1.8 just like just very beginning, and then went to 17K and 6K after ad spend, and then December 44K, right? So almost like pretty much doubled the numbers. And January it was 96, so more than doubled, right? Then in February we were at 200K cash collected. March we went to 330. April we had 460, so we kept scaling, right? In May there was 645. Then we had 557, so a little bit up and down, but that's completely normal when you're scaling. And then July we grew again to 766. August 1 million. So in less than a year we went from zero from Instagram, like no followers, no real followers, to 1 million per month in under 12 months, just with influencer marketing and just with one product. And that's also something very important to say. It was just one product. It was 3K at first, 3K USD, and then later on it was 4.8. No upsells, nothing, right? Just with that 1 million per month. And then
but can you scroll down in the sheet just so people see the sales? Just scroll through the sales.
It was 3.8, right?
So
it was 3.
This time the product was still 3.8. Yeah.
Yeah. It was 3K first, then 3.8, and then 4.8. Yeah. And then September we kept scaling, went to 1.1 million. October we were at I think a little bit down again, 850. And then November we had 1.2. December we had 1.4, and then January we had our record month with around $1.88 million in cash collected. And rule of thumb, we have never been really tracking the revenue, right? The contracted here, but it was around double, right? So like here was around $3 million in revenue and 1.8 in cash in the peak month of January.
Nice. That's insane. Like literally from 0 to over $1 million cash collected per month in under 1 year, right? And you guys started from 0 with basically no experience about influencer marketing and all that good stuff, but still were able to scale so fast. I think in a second we will deep dive exactly into like how you guys did it and the biggest learnings, the biggest mistakes, so that everyone watching right here, right now, can also just learn from this, right? And we'll also talk about what's the best way to get started, like how you can literally get started today with influencer marketing, no matter what niche you're in. We'll also talk about how this is even applicable to other industries than e-learning, because you guys are also doing it for like a luxury real estate property right now. Maybe let's talk about that for a second, because I think it's so interesting.
Yeah. So we had the agency which we built with Bashar, which focuses on influencer marketing. And then we had my family had a luxury real estate in France. And we said, why don't we take this know-how and why don't we apply it outside of the e-learning space and see how it works, if it still works, right? And we did. We invited Eric Damier, who's the founder of EarthPix and History Photograph, to come to the property. It is 12 minutes from Cannes. It's also the property where we're going to have our first in-person event for this mastermind.
Maybe let's have a quick look at the property.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Wait, let me just share the screen. So Danny, maybe you want to explain a little bit about the property.
Sure, of course. So the property is very, very, very special, very luxurious, as you can see on the images. I think the most special thing about the whole property is that it has 45,000 square meters space outside, a little over 600 square meters inside. It's got a tennis court, it's got a multi-sport court. It's huge, and while being a huge property, it is just 12 minutes away from Cannes, which is where Cannes Film Festival is. It's very close to Monaco. It is right in the south of France, in the center. If anybody who likes traveling in Europe, they all know that it is the creme de la creme, basically, for Europe travelers. And yes, this is where we're gonna have our first club event as well. And Eric, but back to the story, I just drifted off a little bit. Eric came and he stayed there for 4 nights, 5 days, and we recorded a bunch of content. And then we did some influencer marketing, just like we've done for Bashar. And if I remember correctly, we gained over 880 applications, approximately requesting 7-night stays from the first ad, and then over 240 applications requesting an average of 7 nights per guest per application. And a night in the villa is approximately around $10,000 per night. So 7 nights times 10 is, of course, you can make your own math. It's 70,000 euros per application, and we got 240 with the second campaign and 180 with the first campaign. We're just preparing and working on launching the third campaign. So yeah, that's kind of like what we've done in the travel niche so far with our influencer marketing strategies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Should we maybe show the ad really fast to give people an idea of what you guys did?
Yes. Of course.
You scrolled over it already.
Stop.
A little bit
More
lower.
to the top. Lower.
There's this one here. The one here. There was a slider. If you go a little bit up.
This one?
No, a little bit further up, Niklas. A little bit further up. Up. Yeah, there we go. The slide in the middle with the text on.
Maybe
I don't see it.
A little bit lower. Just one row lower.
Here we go. This 100-year-old villa has never been available to the public until now. Oh, wow. Got it. And then you guys have like videos over here and everything.
Wow.
There was Max, if you noticed, chilling at the pool.
Yes.
And jumping into the pool.
Wow. 53,000 likes, right? So this ad went up on Earthpix, right? And then you guys tag the Instagram account over here, and the Instagram account links to the website where people can then request a booking, basically.
Yes.
Nice.
It's really like influencer marketing, right? Especially on IG, but everywhere. It's just like a different kind of marketing than paid ads. And if you're thinking, like when you buy a product, like think about yourself. Who would you trust more? Like if you see an ad from a company, or if you see someone that you trust, that you follow, posting about something, and saying, okay, that's a really nice thing, and like what gives you more trust? And it's like very clear, like the person you follow, that you look up to, you trust from them, and if you trust them, you'll buy from them. Like it's a very different kind of marketing. There's no like, Facebook ad algorithm. It's just a completely different way of marketing, and it seems like it's very much like still like a blue ocean in a way, because many people are not aware of it. Many people are not utilizing it because it's just like you can't just like go to Facebook, and you can go to Facebook and just tell them, hey, I'm gonna pay you $200 and you run this ads to this many people. Of influencer marketing, you have to reach out to people, right? You have to get in contact with them, and it seems like most people don't want to do that, right?
And you
that's
can
why it's
negotiate
untapped.
prices.
Yeah, exactly.
When you go to
prices.
Facebook, they say this is how much you're going to pay or leave it, and you're not as dependent. Like if you have a list of multiple influencers where you run ads on, like there's no issues like your ad account gets shut down. You're not dependent of Google or Facebook, whatever ad platform it might be.
Let's maybe, before we dive deeper into influencer marketing, for those of you, because I guess not just like advanced people who already know what influencer marketing is will be watching this video, but also a lot of beginners who maybe have no idea what influencer marketing is, how it works. Like they maybe hear the name theme pages, right? And influencer marketing, they're like, guys, what are you talking about? But they're interested because they saw the numbers and how fast we scaled. So maybe let's take a second and explain influencer marketing. But also one thing before that, to mention, Danny, you said earlier about the villa, right? When we showed it, that our first, like club event mastermind is going to be there. We'll also talk about that, the new project consulting club, right, in a second, but more of, to like at the end of this video. But to sum it up, it's basically like a really high level mastermind for coaches and consultants, in general, e-learning business owners who want to scale faster. And we basically want to partner with them, right? Where we actually, like, we're looking for more Bashars, right? People who we can help get their business to the next level. And but anyways, we'll talk about that in a second later on. But let's talk about influencer marketing. How would you guys describe influencer marketing in simple words? I think, like Max, you explained it already, right? But I think maybe we can share the screen and even show it.
I think the simplest explanation is you have a person that you trust, right? And you get like you find someone who has a big audience, right? And this can be a theme page, this can be a personal brand, whoever, right? Like, for example, like what Niklas is showing wealth here, right? And this person has like authority, they have followers, they have reach, right? And basically how influencer marketing works, you just pay someone to shout you out, like to make a post about you and make people aware of what you're doing, what you're selling, why it's good. And it's just like a more personal form of advertising, right? Where people will actually see the content that looks like organic content, right? And the trust is higher. And I would say that's the biggest summary of influencer marketing. Just like imagine a friend of you or someone you look up to telling you, recommending you something, right? It's just way more powerful.
Yeah. So to give you an example, like this. Yeah, go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, you're not paying a company like Facebook or YouTube to share the content with their audience, but you're going directly, and this is key, you're going directly to the influencer. And as Lucas said before, the big benefit is you're working with people, and with people you can negotiate. And the negative of it is also you're working with people. But we have found ways to kind of like take way more from the positive and almost remove all the negatives by putting great systems and processes in place while we are scaling the influencer marketing.
Yeah, but
It's
maybe to
of
give
course, sorry, it's of course not that simple like Facebook ads where you just put in the ad, you give them the money and let's go. You have to do some kind of manual work, but we also have processes and everything to make that easier.
I'll give an example of what happened to us when we didn't know what we were doing. Is we sent an ad to one of the pages. I'm not going to mention their name here, and we were kind of like, and we put so much money, like I think 50% of our money, our budget went into this page, and we kind of asked them, all right, where's our ad? Like, why haven't you posted yet? And they said, sorry, I was skiing. Right, and this just happens with influencer marketing, which doesn't happen with Facebook ads. But again, there's ways to work around that. We're going to share on a few tips that everybody can implement straight away later on in the video.
And
Nice.
also it seems because of that, like a lot of people are not willing to do it, right? It seems kind of like, it seems like something that hasn't been done by too many people. And very often, like, people just want to go the easiest route, like the most common thing that everyone's doing, which of course, like, is easier to start, but you know, you'll feel the pain later on because you'll have rising ad costs, you know, return ad spend will be lower, and it's just, you know, and many people with Facebook ads struggle, right? They have problems with like higher ad costs and everything is performing worse. But they're still doing it because they think it's easier than influencer marketing.
I want to just add one thing. Even if you say you love Facebook ads, you love YouTube ads, and you absolutely love Google ads, you should still be building your social media following through influencer marketing. Why? Because the bigger your social media audience is, the better your Facebook ads, your YouTube ads, and your Google ads will run. Right? So if you're not doing it, there's no reason for you not to do it.
Yeah. It's like a huge nurturing platform, but it's for free, right? The only cost you have is the cost of content production. And once your following is big enough, that cost becomes neglectable, really. And if you think about it, if you want to, I mean, retarget your followers, you can, and also just by posting content on a daily basis, and that's something you can completely automate with the content creation team. If you can't post content daily, it's like running retargeting ads because your followers will see that content every single day, and you're not paying anything for it. And that's like the crazy thing. If you have 1 million followers and you're just posting, and people are engaging with your content, and you are even growing some followers organically, like, you're getting reach, you're getting sales, you're getting like you're running ads. You just don't pay for anything. And that's so powerful. Because again, like with ads, like, you're just so dependent. If something happens to your ad account, well, you're, I don't want to say fucked, but you're fucked, you know?
Maybe to give you an example, right? Like this page over here is wealth. One of the biggest pages, like in the business niche, 7.3 million followers, and there's actually over 1,000 business pages out there. That's why the influencer marketing is so scalable. But yeah, wealth was posting content. You can see it over here: 30,000 likes, 100,000 likes, 130,000 likes, and some of the posts in between. I open up the few posts before. They are actually influencer marketing posts. They are shout outs, like that's what we call them, because you know it starts over here with 3 quotes that will make you like rich, basically, and then you know you can see the 3 quotes, but at the end, get more followers / leads, check out CEO Zach, done for you follower growth service, link in bio. Right now, over 10,000 people liked this post over here, and he's actually getting new followers to his profile, right? And people click the link in his bio, right? And you can see over here he has like a calendar, and I'm sure, yeah, he's selling his Instagram growth coaching or whatever over here. Same over here, this post, right? It says 24-year-old investment, whatever, turns $25 million in profit. And then it continues over here with like storytelling, some value, etc., etc. But then basically the profile is also linked over here, okay? And he has his profile over here. It's like, this one is a little bit special, it's private, but he has his WhatsApp number over here. And a lot of people will message him on WhatsApp. Over here, 27-year-old millionaire shares 12 roles for men. Okay, also post on wealth, continues. And then at the end it says, follow to learn how he became financially free without starting a business. Okay, and then people come to his profile, right, and see the profile and check it out. They follow him, and then he's posting every single day. You can see it over here. And all the new followers will see the post, and eventually at one point they will click the link in his bio and they will slowly get aware of the product that he's selling, and they will buy it at one point, right? Same over here. Millionaire exposes his genius business that nobody's talking about. 24,000 likes, okay? And if you go to his profile, he has over 600,000 followers, and I know for a fact, like, all of those followers that he has were built through influencer marketing. Now, you can just use some common sense at this point also, right? If you follow some theme pages like Wealth, like Millionaire Mentor, etc., you will always see some ads over here from other people. Now, why do those people run the ads? Why do they pay the theme pages to make posts? Very simple, because it's profitable. They are spending $1 and they're getting $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $15, $20 back. Otherwise, they wouldn't be spending the money. Why would they just burn money, right? So just the fact that shoutouts are being ran on all of those theme pages shows you and proves to you, that this whole thing works, right? And that you should look into it if you're a business owner and if you want to sell something online, right? Or in general, just want to build a brand. And probably if you're watching this video right now, right here, maybe you also follow me on Instagram, and that's how you came here to this video. And that's why you're watching it. Now, the way how I built my personal brand and how I made over $10 million online is literally all through influencer marketing. All the over 450,000 followers that I now have are built through influencer marketing. None of it is organic, right? I paid other theme pages to promote my personal brand. People follow me, and then of course we have different offers, different things that we sell. And maybe you're even a customer watching this video right now, right here, right? You became aware of my personal brand through influencer marketing. At least like 99% of the people did. And that's basically the power of it. I've been doing it since 2018. That's how I built my whole personal brand, the whole online business, absolutely everything. Danny Max, you guys scaled Bashar from 0 to over $3 million in the record month in revenue, and over $1.8 million cash collected, and over $20 million cash collected in under 2 years. And you started without any previous experience. Now you're doing it for like a luxury real estate property, for your guys' software company. And
if we have 2 more clients in the e-learning space, but nothing special, just very, very wisely cherry-picked partnerships.
Let's maybe talk about the other client. Like, we don't have to mention names or something. I know that client wants to stay like a little bit undercover, but this whole influencer marketing strategy and the systems and the processes that you guys have built, right, and the frameworks that you've developed, they didn't just work for Bashar, right? They also worked, like, you guys stopped working with Bashar. When is it, like end of 2020 or something?
Yeah, it was around November 2022. Decided to go separate way. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, and then you guys onboarded like a new client, right? And I think he was also making like $0 through Instagram, basically. And I don't know. Yeah, you guys tell the story. Like, how many followers did he have? How much money was he making from Instagram? And how fast did you scale him?
They were basically making around like close to 0 from Instagram. Did a little bit. So they were running paid ads, mainly Facebook ads, YouTube ads, but mainly Facebook and Instagram ads. And they were making almost nothing, like maybe 10K per month from Instagram. And we started working with them in December. And I'm gonna pull up the numbers, but by March or April, we hit 350K with them, in a month, And that was so after three months, we had 350K just from influencer marketing. So it was very fast, and then we scaled Bashar. But of course, now we had the knowledge, we have a team, right? So now it's even faster. So if you know what you're doing, you can scale up really, really fast. And the beautiful thing is there is no restriction like on Facebook. Because on Facebook ads, I'm sure if you've run ads before, you can only spend so much in the beginning, right? And if you slowly ramp up the ads and you have to be slow before you spend more, and then usually your ad costs go higher. Nothing with influencer marketing. Like, if you have the pages, if you have the contacts to the pages and you have some great content that performs really well, you can theoretically day one spend $10,000, and in the first month you can spend $200,000 and get the return back, given that you have the systems to actually convert the leads into sales. But if you have great content and connect to the pages, you can really scale fast. And that's amazing. And you can also stop fast. So if you really want to say you want to pause promotions for a week, you can just do that. With paid ads, you lose your whole momentum. Like you can't just stop spending. It's like a huge train. And if you try to stop it, like everything breaks. So yeah, it's really, really flexible in this way, really nice. And also it's safer because again, if your ad account is being shut down, it's bad. I mean, theoretically, your Instagram account can get shut down too, but number one, there's ways to get the account back. And number two, even if something really bad happens to your account, you can still promote a new page on day one with those influencers because they're all separate accounts. And that's the power really. Like you can, if you want to promote a new account, like the next day, you can just tell all your influencers to promote another account. It's really powerful and really safer in this way. Because if Facebook says your ad account is shut down, like you can promote. You have to start a new ad account and start slowly from the beginning again. But if influencer marketing, you can get started right away.
I want to add just one more thing to what Max said regarding the clients that we scaled to around $350,000 after a few months. It would have been way more. It was a very special client, which was putting a lot of restrictions on us as a company. And a lot of the things we wanted to do, which we have done, for example, for Bashar, in terms of ideas and the big ideas we had, we couldn't execute. So due to the limitations, we only got them to, and I'm saying only, because it is only to 350,000. But I believe that if there would have been no limitations, just like we have with our second client, which we just started working with around a month ago, we would have scaled them way beyond $500,000, maybe even $700,000 a month after a few months.
Yes. But of course, it's also like only possible because they already had the fulfillment, the sales in place, of course, right? Which is very important.
I agree. And I think the biggest issue everybody runs once they start doing influencer marketing, and if they do it properly, is that they have so many leads that the sales team becomes a bottleneck very quickly. And then people don't know how to scale the sales team properly. This is like our experience working with some clients. What we've seen is they didn't expect this many leads, and then they start doing influencer marketing. If done properly, they get a lot of leads, and then they have no idea what to do in terms of sales team to take those leads and convert them into sales, right? Because if you have like $1 million worth of leads, but you don't have a sales team that can take those leads and turn them into the $1 million, then you don't have $1 million, right? And you can't scale. So we've also learned a lot in our experience and based on some other people's experience on what you can do there to kind of like prevent having $1 million leads, but no sales team that can turn it into cash.
But I think these are the problems that you want to have. Like for so many people, the problem is I have too less leads and my closes are not like booked out and stuff. I think it's for a lot of people it's a miracle to get too many leads, to be honest.
Yeah, but then once you have them, it's still, it's still a problem because you still don't have the cash.
If you don't convert them, yeah, it's still a problem.
True. Maybe one other topic over here, which I also personally think is super interesting, is how much time does it actually take, or took Bashar, right, when you guys were making $1 million, $2 or $3 a month, to run the company or to basically produce all of the content for the influencer marketing for the feed? Because I know you guys were posting like 6 times per day within the Instagram feed. You were putting out content every single day in the stories, in the feed, and the influencer marketing. And like from the outside, when people take a look at it, it looks like a lot of work for Bashar because he was visible like everywhere, right? But maybe take people behind the scenes and share with them how much he was actually working.
Sure.
I don't know.
So from a content creation standpoint, Bashar maybe spent 1.5 to 2 hours per week on one day for everything together. And basically we completely automated everything. So like there was a content creation team who was doing everything, video editing, writing scripts and all that. And all he was doing was once per week, we would either take some pictures, right? Like maybe once in a month, there was like a photographer coming, take some nice pictures. And beside that, like once per week, spending 1 to 2 hours recording content that was pre-written, like scripts were written, bullet points were written out, and there was someone recording the videos for him. That's all he did. All he did. Like beside it was nothing. Like captions have been written, videos have been edited by our team. It's everything completely automated. So everything you saw from Bashar over the past 2 years was done with him putting him in 1 to 2 hours per week.
Yeah.
And at some points he didn't even record because he was busy and or didn't want to record a lot more content. So we were kind of like got resourceful and repurposed and edited stuff we already had recorded in the past. But it's really something that you can, if you build it up right with the right team, you can have very little inputs and get a lot of content out.
And
Yeah.
and I want to say to what Max said, I want to add something, and this is very, very important to understand and be aware of, which is the longer you do this thing, which is called like content creation and influencer marketing, the less input you have to put in, because the bigger your content library gets, the more content your content creation team can do, just being resourceful with what you've already recorded without you having to create new content. So at some point, let's say
let's actually, sorry for the interruption. Let's talk about that in a second and also explain like the whole team structure, how everything is built, right? We'll share maybe some of the tracking sheets and show people what they look like, the content tracking sheet, the influencer marketing tracking sheet, how the team with like idea finder, copywriter, graphic designer structured. And then, you guys actually had like just people from India, like running the influencer campaigns. And when I first heard this, because, I've been running influencer campaigns for like 5 years now, I was like, what? Guys from like India, Pakistan were running like the influencer campaigns. I was like, how does this work? Because before I was doing it myself, right? But these guys have built systems and processes to a point where literally everything was automated. Their whole team was running the whole business of Bashar. And I know, for like you guys mentioned, Bashar at one point, he didn't even have Instagram on his phone. He just deleted the app, right?
Yeah. It's what I was about to say. Like, even if a bus hits you, people will not notice. It's after some time. If you create a well-organized content library for your team and that can use that content resourcefully. It's all about like, if you know how to work resourceful, you don't need a lot of content. You can repurpose a lot of things. You can remix a lot of things, stitch a lot of things. There's a lot you can do with very like with less.
Yeah. I have to say, like, these guys, Danny Max, they are so good at building systems and processes and building things in a way where they kind of like run on autopilot, and they've removed so many mistakes from the process that can happen. Like, it's crazy. Because for me, for example, when I was running my personal brand, if you're watching this video right now, then you probably know this like fact, or what means problem, right? But as I said, for the last 5 years, I've been running my personal brand. I've always been making really, really good money with it, right? At the beginning of 2020, yes, so like 3.5 years ago, I had my first $100,000 month. And then since then, basically every month was somewhat around $100,000, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. And in 2020, we're actually in the record month, did over $700,000 in revenue, over $400,000 in cash collected, which was amazing. But there was one problem, right? And that problem was, at that point I was traveling, right? So friends and I, we went to Italy in the summer because, I'm living here in Dubai, and it's getting quite warm here in the summer. So we decided to travel, right? And we went to Italy, and everything was cool while traveling. We had the record month, but the problem at that point with my personal brand was still like, I had to basically do everything. I had to do the Instagram stories. I had to do the Instagram feed. I had to control and take care of the influencer marketing. And if I stopped working, the whole business broke down, right? It didn't show up immediately, but while I was in Italy, I wasn't working that much anymore. But then like a week, 2-3 weeks later, like things just broke together and stopped working. This campaign stopped running with inconsistent lead flow, like, I don't know, sales call bookings coming in, sales coming in, et cetera, et cetera. And it was just like catastrophic, right? Like I after I came back to Dubai after Italy, and the whole business was just burning, right? It was a complete mess. And for like a week, I just had to fix everything and do this and that and whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I always, for like such a long time, basically for the last like 3 years, I always was like I somehow have to build this like different, right? Where even if because that's the number one problem with a personal brand, or it's number one problem, it's not really a problem, right? But with a personal brand, it's kind of like tougher to automate, right? Like you are the person, you have to do this and this, the content, the stories, the feed posts, and you have to take care of the whole team and everything. And when you stop working, the business stops working if you don't build it correctly, right? And I've had this experience over the last 3-4 years so often. Like even last year, I was traveling with friends to Cape Town, and the same thing happened. Like from the day where I stopped working, the business kind of like stopped working. And, of course, we're still making money and things went good, but not as well as if I was like hands-on working on the whole thing. And then after Cape Town, right, I came back to Dubai, and the whole thing was again like a complete mess. And I had to take like 7 days and fix everything, right? Because things were burning over here and there and there. And then at the beginning of 2023, Danny, Max, and I were actually started working more closely together. And they started sharing with me how they build their whole content team, how they are doing and running the Instagram feed, how they are running the influencer marketing, right? And we implemented everything, and a couple of things happened. So first of all, we started getting way more leads, right? Like opt-ins for the free case study that we have. We booked so many more calls. Our revenue and cash collected just spiked dramatically, right? Our influencer campaigns started running way, way, way better again. Like before, we were paying like $2 per follower. Now we're at under $1 per follower at 80 cents, and the quality is 10 times better. Plus, what also happened is I was able to build my business and my team in a way where it runs on autopilot, right? I was now traveling for 3 weeks in Japan, right? And I wasn't working on my personal brand, on the business. I was doing nothing. I was just working on this new project, Consulting Club, right? Where we partner with e-learning business owners and help them scale faster, which we'll also talk about, like in a second, but not on the personal brand. And we're at the record days when it comes to opt-ins, when it comes to calls, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to cash collected. Like we're doing a record month right now, right? Without me having to work on the business. And it was for the first time ever of me running my personal brand in 5 years that things while traveling, when I stopped working, went well and was like automated. We're hitting record days. Like I couldn't believe it, right?
I have to share a story there. It was funny because we worked day and night when we started Consulting Club. And we were in meetings like, I would say 10 to 12 hours every single day. And it was funny because I believe one day we were like in a meeting for 8 to 10 hours. And then Niklas said, oh, by the way, guys, we're just doing record month, just so you know. And like all day we just talked about Consulting Club, which is this new project. And it was like, oh, by the way, my company in the background, we're just doing record months. We're like, oh, nice. Cool.
Yes. And that's all because I started implementing like the systems and processes and the team structure that you guys you like used and built for Bashar and all the other clients that you have now. So it's absolutely amazing to see, how great stuff works. Yeah. All right, here we go again. Just like did a couple minutes of break, got a coffee. But anyways, I'd say back to the topic. What did we talk about before? Basically, I think systems and processes for the business, being able to automate everything, right? So that you can run the business even if you're not actively working on it, especially as a personal brand. And yeah, I just have to say it again. Like it's amazing to see how well all the systems and processes are dialed in now. That I can just like travel the world, work on other projects, right? Like Consulting Club, and the business is running. Because I think for many people it's a dream to kind of like travel the world and run the business from there. And for me, it was always like in the past, I have to say a little bit tough to do it. Like I have my setup here in Dubai, right? I have my MacBook, like everything set up. And when I'm here, it was always easy for me to get work done to grow the business. But when I was traveling, like it didn't work out. But this time, for the first time ever, it worked out, and it's amazing. And also for Danny, like I know you also travel a lot. Yeah, where are you right now?
1 second, just 1 sec. Systems.
Wow.
Nice. You're on a yacht.
Yes, I'm on a yacht. I said I'm gonna go for a week and I'm gonna work on a boat.
Nice.
Because I just had enough of the city I lived in. So I was like, let me just get out and let me just work on about nice review, more more creative ideas for the clients, for ourselves. Great, right?
That's
Yes.
the dream lifestyle. You're living the dream.
Yeah. No, I do have to say we have a great team. We really have a great team. Yeah. And this is key in any business. You know, you're not doing it alone. You're doing it with a team. And you have to understand that if you want to build a big business, you're gonna have to at some point work with other people. And you cannot do it alone.
For sure.
So we really have a great team that just allows us and also them to take some time and just not work, and still everything is running. Even though I'm working here, but
yeah, let's maybe get into that topic, right? So I guess at this point of the video, people understood and understand, you know, what influencer marketing is, right? That you can basically buy shout outs and posts on theme pages within the business niche, the travel niche, whatever niche you're in. And you have those posts, right? You run them, and then in the post somewhere it says, hey, follow at. And then, for example, my personal brand, Niklas Pedde, and click link in his bio, right? So that's the basic idea of influencer marketing, right? You have all those theme pages with millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of followers. You can, you know, put your posts on those pages, and there's a call to action site that, you know, all of those millions of followers or people who see the posts come to your profile, whether that's your personal brand, your company profile, whether it's a profile, for example, for luxury real estate property, or whether it's a software company. You can just drive traffic people to your profile. Now, what happens from there? And let's maybe talk about a little bit, first of all, the biggest learnings, maybe like the two big things that allowed you guys to scale Bashar so fast. But yeah, let's talk about that. Biggest learnings, why scaling Bashar, biggest mistakes, and let's break down a little bit the whole structure of the influencer marketing thing in like a simple way, so that people kind of like understand the team structure, how everything is built, etc., etc. And then after, yeah, we can also give them kind of like a game plan of how, you know, how you watching this video right now, right here, can get started with influencer marketing today and get the first results within the next 7 to 10 days.
I think the biggest lesson for me in my life and like entrepreneurial journey all together was that marketing is important. Because the first project for me was a game. It was a mobile game. And we launched the game. And it was an amazing game. And people who we got to play it, they loved the game, right? But we believed that all the work was in creating the game and launching the game. And we thought once we launched that game, and if we make it a great game, then people will just download it, right? And they didn't. And we worked for like 1.5 years on that game. And this is like where I realized that marketing is very important, right? And this is also why we decided to then learn ourselves and kind of like get into marketing and understand it. So for me, like the biggest lesson is marketing is important. Make sure you learn a skill, you learn how to do marketing. And for us, the best way of marketing right now is influencer marketing. You can look at other companies that took off, like Shein, the Chinese fast fashion company, which I believe at some point was valued more than Zara. They did influencer marketing. You can look at fast fashion like Fashion Nova. They've also done great influencer marketing. We've always looked up to them and learned from them and read everything we could about them, and then implemented it on our clients in the e-learning space. So like learning marketing yourself and having it inside your own company as a skill and not outsourcing it, I think is the biggest lesson that I could share.
Why would you recommend people to not outsource it?
Because usually when people are usually like people are when they have small companies and they're starting out, they kind of like want to outsource as much as they can, right? And then once you grow to a certain point, you realize that you're running this risk of having your marketing outsourced, and you at some point are going to decide anyways to take it back in-house. But until that point, you've been building up this other team that is outsourced and their know-how and their skills, but not in-house, right? And then once you take it in-house, then you don't have that time of learning and feedback and systems and processes, and you have to build it all over again. And building it all over again, once you're at scale, making $1 or $2 million a month isn't fun. So the sooner you build your own marketing, and I think marketing is one of the most crucial parts of the business. Like Peter Drucker, the father of modern management, maybe you guys read some of his books. He said like the most important two things of any business are innovation and marketing. And I believe you have to have those from beginning if you can in-house. And this is also what we focus on teaching to all the club members right now.
I just want to add to that, especially if you're like just very, very in the beginning starting out. It can be good to have some things outsourced, but if you're doing that, you should make sure that you're learning the principles of marketing. You don't have to be gone to the weeds, right? But you have to figure out, okay, how does marketing work? Like what's, the selling point of your product, what sells people, how the team structure works, or everything is in your head. Or have someone from your team who is building the knowledge side to side with someone who's doing it outsourced. So you have this knowledge and this skill in house, so you're not dependent. You're putting your business at risk later on. Yeah.
Unless, of course, you trust the people very much and you've known them for long enough that you can feel comfortable outsourcing it and working with them in like with such structure for a long time. Like there's always exceptions, right? But generally, I believe it's better to understand the skill yourself, to have it in house, and then to outsource it.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then second, I would say, like, because you asked lesson, right? Like this is the biggest mistake. It was kind of like the biggest lesson for me. Maybe Max, you can share what you learned. But the biggest mistake we made was we hired too fast. And to tell you the truth, we scaled so fast and we had so many leads that we were kind of like, all right, we got all these leads, but we don't have enough salespeople to convert them. And we said, let us just hire 50 sales reps in like 2 months. And everybody was kind of like telling us, who was consulting us on the side, that's a stupid idea. You shouldn't do it. But we had a big ego, we scaled very, very fast, and we felt anything. And we can also just hire 50 people in 2 months and train them and bring them up to speed and make sure we close the deals, and we just 4x the business because we had like 4x the leads than the sales team can take. And like we just saw this positive side. We just saw the money, right? And the biggest lesson is, or the biggest mistake we made is, like, we hired fast, and you should hire slow and fire fast. And you should hire when it hurts, not until it hurts. We hired until it hurt. And that was the biggest mistake we've made. Yeah, you should never hire too many people at once.
Yeah, I would even go as far as saying like how fast you can scale your business or how big you can scale your business depends on how many really great people you have in your business, right? Like that's where it all stands and falls. Because if you have someone who is just okay or not doing their job properly, it's hard to scale because you have to run out of the people, right? You have to, micromanage, and it takes way too much of your time. Of course, everybody needs to be managed and led. So there has to be leadership. There has to be some motivation, some of a check-in. But if you have, mediocre people in your company, it's very hard to scale, and it will just not scale. But if you have great people, then you can scale. You still have to put in more work and more effort, but it's scalable. It's like when your business is stuck, right? And you feel like things are breaking, things are not working out. Probably, or very probably, the people in your company you don't have enough great people to actually scale.
And that's another lesson.
Yeah.
Like Steve Jobs always said this, and it was for him also like one of the main lessons that he's learned throughout his career. And it was funny because it hit us at some point too. And we now keep sharing with everybody we can, is the more you can do right in the front, the less mistakes you're gonna make in the back, and the less stuff you have to bandage and fix in later during the process, right? So if you hire the right people in the beginning, you need less SOPs, you need less systems, you need less structures, you need less strike rules, you need less firing, you need less agreements. Like everything else is less if you do the right things in the front end, right? So just be very, very, very picky with who you hire, and you're gonna save yourself a lot of time and a lot of problems.
And same, by the way, applies to marketing, right? If you think about, you know, your business and everything like a funnel, at the beginning, at the very, very top, you have either your Facebook ads or the influencer campaigns or whatever. Like that's the first touch point for people. And after that, they maybe come to your social media profiles. You have the content there. Then you have the first funnel page, the opt-in page, VSL page, application, email marketing. You have your sales team, everything, right? Now, if you have shitty marketing in the front end and you attract maybe the wrong leads, okay, you attract broke people, right? If they come into your funnel, you will always have problems with conversions. You will always have people on the sales calls or whatever who will just not convert. There will be no shows. They will not show up, right? The closers will be pissed. People will maybe lie about their budget or whatever. Things will not work out. But if you in the front end put in a lot of work into great marketing where you attract the right people and where you have a lot of traffic, and everything becomes easy, okay? Like the funnel will convert, even if the funnel isn't the best, it will still work, it will still convert because your marketing in the front end is so great. Your salespeople can just be average, right? Because, you know, everyone just comes in and they just simply want to buy, right? They don't have to do any like convincing and this and that. So the more work you put in the front end into the first step, the less work you will have, you know, throughout the way in the back end. Yeah.
100%. I want to say, like, we've seen dozens of people by now who like didn't have this front end dialed in, and they just said, let us just get into influencer marketing because it seems easy without like getting the right know-how. And they just started, which is cool most of the time. But here it didn't work out well because what they did is they promoted on wrong pages.
Yeah.
And they placed the wrong baits in the wrong oceans, and they just attracted the wrong fish, right? And then they thought their funnel sucked. Or they're like, and then what they did, and it's crazy, and they kept like we when we interviewed them, like we kept seeing like them placing all kinds of bandages across their business where all they needed to fix is the marketing message, right? So what they then did is, because they had this low quality leads, they said, okay, let us create a lower ticket offer that fits this fish that I don't even want to work with. I don't want to like get into calls. I don't want them, right? But I'm getting them, so let me just create a lower tier offer that is a good fit for those leads. Where what they should have done is they should have asked themselves, okay, with what customer do I want to work with? What offer do you want to sell them? And then where can I find these customers and make sure that you attract, or sorry, you promote on the right pages and you place the right baits for the fish you want to catch. And then how good your VSL runs, if it's like, if the conversion is 10 or 12, doesn't fucking matter, right?
Yeah.
Especially not in the beginning, because the 2% are of bigger impact once you're making $1 million to $2 million than when you're making like a 50 or 100K a month. And people keep optimizing this VSL, and I think this is also a big mistake we always see. Everybody's like, "Where are your VSL numbers?" Right? We're like, "No, just get more leads." Like that's the biggest lever you can pull. Like fix your marketing, promote on the right pages, spend more money on promotions, create the right content, make sure you're attracting the right amount of the right quality people. And once you've optimized this to the max, then like see, okay, now I'm getting all of this traffic and the leverage is pretty big by now that I can actually pull and optimize my funnel. But you shouldn't overdo the funnel.
And maybe go ahead.
Okay. To give you an example, right? You guys have now seen the good side of everything, right? You saw the numbers of Bashar, right? With Danny Max, they scaled him from 0 to over $3 million a month in about 1 year, over $20 million cash collected in under 2 years, right? About 2.7 million Instagram followers in under 2 years from 0. But you know, there's also people who don't succeed with influencer marketing. We recently had someone on a call, and he was working with an agency, okay? And in the first month, they spent close to $40,000 on influencer marketing. And guess what? He didn't gain a lot of followers, maybe like 10, 15,000, right? but all of those followers were just like crappy followers, the wrong people who weren't interested in what that guy was selling. And out of the $40,000 in ad spend, he only made one sale for $3,000, right? So same as with like Facebook ads, YouTube ads, with anything in business, you can make mistakes over here with influencer marketing. It's not that you get into influencer marketing and then, you will just start printing money, right? If it was so easy, then everybody would do it. So yeah, you need the right systems, you need the right processes, you need the right pages, the right content to be able to succeed over here. But yeah, I guess that's something we can dive maybe a little bit more into, like what's important when it comes to influencer marketing. But Max, 100%. You want to say something first?
100%. No, I'm good. We can go right into the topic. And the thing with influencer marketing, if you look like with ads, you have audiences. So like you can select, I want to attract people that are from this country and they're between this and this age. With influencer marketing, you don't have that. So you have to like go about it in a different way. And I think it's even like simpler because all you have to do is like, you have to look, if you want to promote your product, you have to look where you want to promote that product. And if you look at the page and do you see their followers, like you see their audience, see what kind of content they're posting, then you can very easily guess what kind of people they are attracting. And that's how you figure out, is this a page to promote my product or not? Because if you're selling makeup, you probably don't want to go to a motivational page that shows people how to start their business, So it's the key thing here is really that you find, first of all, you have to find a page that carries your audience. And I'm not gonna go too deep into the weeds, but there are even some tools that you can use to check the audience of a page and from which countries their followers are from, right? And you want to look at what is the page, do they have the right audience, and are they reaching people? Are they reaching the right people? And if you found that, that's like the first biggest step, and that's probably like the hardest thing to do, is find the right pages. And of course, like there was many tricks, many things to do, softwares you can use to check pages and everything. But once you found the right page with the right audience that reaches people, what you have to do is you have to get in contact with them and go ahead.
Let's maybe start from the beginning, right? So that's like easier for people to understand. Let's maybe take an example, like a case study. Let's say, we are like on a coaching call with someone right now. He's making $20,000 a month, maybe from Facebook ads, maybe from YouTube ads, maybe from Instagram, right? But they have like an Instagram profile, small, little, tiny personal brand, right? Maybe even a brand where they don't show themselves, because by the way, this also works for theme pages and for undercover personal brands, right? Not just for personal brands. But let's say someone is on Instagram, maybe has 500, maybe 5,000, 15,000 followers, maybe even 300,000 followers. It doesn't matter, basically. They don't have the systems and processes dialed in that you guys have, and they don't run the campaigns the way how you guys, ran them for Bashar and how you're running them for the current clients. Like, yeah, let's say someone has a funnel, right? The funnel is okay, it's working, right? They have an offer that they can sell. How should they scale their business to the next level? How can they go from, I don't know, $20,000 a month to $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million a month with Instagram and influencer marketing?
There's just two things. There's just two things you should focus on. And that's it. Let's say if your funnel is working, one is spend more on influencer marketing, which you can do either by working with more influencers. This is the easy way to spend more, or you can increase the frequency, how many times the influencers that you're already working with post you. Like that's the two things you can do, right? To spend more. And as Max said, like you have to make sure the influencers you're working with, either if you're increasing the frequency on them or you're adding new ones, they have the audience that you want to attract that is like fitting and wants to buy the offer.
So people, one thing, so people, they run influencer campaigns, right? They have like theme pages, maybe 5, maybe 10 pages, right? They are right now spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, right? And those theme pages promote their, let's say, personal brand, and then the followers come over to the personal brand. Now, one of the ways how you can scale, now you can get more people into the funnel, is obviously by adding more pages. So instead of promoting like 5 or 10 pages, you can promote on 20 pages, on 30 pages, by that increase the ad spend, right? Or you can get the pages, instead of just promoting you 3 times a month, to post you every single day. Like that's how you can scale the influencer marketing, right? And how you can, that's one of the ways how you can take the business to the next level. But there's one more thing that I think, wanted to talk about, which is content. Because what actually drives all of the leads and all of the traffic into the funnel, and what converts people, is the stuff that you have in your Instagram feed. Because what you have to do is, like, people follow you, right? And then if you don't post anything, they won't see you again, right? Or if you only do stories, maybe 5% of your followers will see it, or 10, right? If you're really good at stories. But the feed, like, that's where all the magic happens. Like, you guys, we are driving like 90% or 80% of the traffic through the Instagram feed. So the second way how you can start making more money with your business and get more leads and calls and everything is by really dialing in the Instagram feed. And you guys in the peak were posting like 6, 7, 8 times per day with Bashar. And the overall frame, the way how you guys see the Instagram feed is kind of like a landing page, right? Because the first step in the funnel isn't the opt-in page or the sales page. It's actually the influencer marketing, but even more important, the Instagram feed. And you guys went about structuring the Instagram feed and posting 6, 7 times a day, and you viewed it as like a kind of like a video sales letter or like a sales page in the Instagram feed, right?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. The easiest thing to do on the, like, let's say your returns on ad spends are already good, meaning that the content you're posting is converting to leads, the sales team is converting the leads, you're making the cash, and you're making more than 4 times the cash than you're spending on the ads. Then the easiest thing you can do is either just spend more influence marketing or just post more content on your feed, go up to 6 or 8 times a day, and you're just gonna make a lot more money, given that the quality of your content and the pages, as you scale both things, stay the same. If your return on ad spend isn't above 4, then you have like a problem to fix. And as Niklas said, because the content on your feed is the heart, it is the pump of the whole business, most probably the bottleneck is your content, right? And what you should look at when you're looking at your content, especially on Instagram, because you're not paying Instagram for the reach, you have to create your own reach, kind of, is you look at just 2 things. One is the virality, and the second is the conversion, right? So if, and we say it's,
then you, Max, do you maybe want to share the screen, like do this?
I think we're
like,
very good. Yeah.
already
yeah,
on it.
So
it's like if you're it's like virality and conversion, right? So if your virality is, let's say, 1, meaning you took an idea that isn't very viral and you just say, I'm looking for future entrepreneurs who want to start their business fast, click the link in my bio to learn how. Conversion might be 10, right? And the result of those 2 is 10, right? And if you, sorry for my painting, I'm using my touchpad and it's terrible. Let's say virality is 10, right? And your conversion is 1. So you find the most viral idea of all, like 8 or 7 pictures you have to see before you die. Swipe left. And people swipe through those pictures and you say, all right, now click the link in my bio to learn how to make money before you die, whatever, stupid example, but it's also 10. So you want to make sure that you hit both. You find this fine line between, let's say this is, let's say it's just 5, virality is 5, and conversion is 5. You find this catch that is a perfect match to your CTA, right? Let's say how I became a millionaire before age 40, or before age 30, or before age 20 even, right? Like, it gets the right people interested. It's still viral, and it's the perfect fit for your offer. And then you convert, and 5 times 5 equals 25, right? So, and then you should optimize this to be a 10, of course, and optimize this to be a 10. And this is very hard because usually when you increase the virality, you make it harder for yourself to convert. And when you want to convert, you usually like decrease the virality. So it's really the key is finding this fine line between virality and conversion, and making sure that you're optimizing for both as much as you can. And that's kind of like what we've done to get the most leads on Instagram. And then, of course, the more you post, the more data you're collecting. So Max can maybe show you some tracking sheets later that we've used. Every post we posted, we put a data in a sheet, And let's say after 1, 2, 3 months, you can detect exactly which posts have the best conversions, and you can detect exactly which posts have the greatest virality. And what you can do then is you can remix the posts that had the great virality but bad conversions with the posts that had great conversions but bad virality, right? And you can just combine it.
Let's maybe talk about remixing in a second. But first, like, how exactly does like the team structure look like? And how do you produce all of this content, like 6, 7 posts per day? Let's maybe talk about that, like the idea finder, the copywriter, the graphic designer, the daily meetings.
100%. Before that, I just want to double down really that the content is the heart of your business. Because with promotions, like once you have found the right pages that work well, you just make a deal, like you tell them about, like you reach out to them, you get in contact with them, you close a deal for like you can first buy one promotion, then you can later on buy in bulk, you can buy 10 to save money. They just ask them, hey, this is the content, please post that, and they will post your content. And so that's it, right? That's the influencer marketing side. That's very easy. Like once you're in contact, everyone can do that. And that's what, like, also, like if you have a VA, a virtual assistant, they can run that. You just have to tell them what content to use. And that's really the key part. So a lot of your effort, and that's what we'll also talk about the content creation team in a second, has to go into the content. Because with the content, you kind of like have to bring your message, your marketing, like that will actually builds the trust and what sells people, right? You have to bring it over, but you have to package it in a way that it's viral, that it's trendy, that it actually gets the reach on Instagram, right? Because the best, as Danny said, the best content, the most converting content that attracts the right people does not bring you anything if 10 people see it, you know? So it's really, really crucial that you have the right content. And just want to stress that having the great content is key, and having great content is what will make you will set you apart from the competition. If your content is great, if it's unique, if it's viral, if it's trendy, right, hot right now, then your content will get more reach than other people's content. People, like when they see your promotion on the page, they want to follow you because your content is really cool, and everything gets better. So it's really crucial that you master the content, because if the content is great, everything else is easy. And yeah, with that being said, let's go into the content creation team, how we've set it up, and also why we've set it up this way, right? So basically, we have separated the content creation process into three crucial steps. And the first step is idea finding, right? And idea finding, and I'm gonna explain just in a second why we did it this way. Idea finding is just a process. It's just someone who goes through Instagram and looks at competitors, people in the niche, right? And just looks what's hot right now, what kind of ideas are getting viral right now, what is interesting right now, what's hot on social media. They're doing the research part. Then, and that's also a crucial part, then the idea finder is meeting up, like there's a daily meeting in the content creation team, and they're doing an idea pitch. So basically, the idea finder is throwing the ideas at the other content creation team members, and they're now giving feedback. Hey, I found this idea. How do you like it? And they're like, yes, I love it. Let's do it. And the next idea, they will say, no, actually, this idea, it's viral, it's nice, but it actually doesn't fit to what we're doing, and we don't see a way of making it work. And this is very important that you have the idea finder and the other content creation team members separated, like it's 2 different people or more different people, because now the standard can be set very high. Because what happens usually when you're finding ideas, you're spending like 1, 2, 3, 4 hours per day just looking through social media, finding for ideas. And sometimes you find 20 amazing ideas, but sometimes you only find 1 or 2. And what if the person now says, okay, we're doing those 2 ideas, they might not be good, but because they spend so much time looking for those ideas, they kind of like fall in love with the ideas, and you will post bad content. So it's very good that you have an idea finder, and then you have another person from the team who is approving or more or less disapproving those ideas. And after that's done, like the team kind of collaborates and brainstorms a little bit on how will they bring those ideas into life. Okay. And after that, after this meeting, the copywriters will actually start writing the slideshow, the carousel post. They will write the script for the reel, right? And they will do that. And then the third person, and in the beginning, this can be the same person. They take this piece of content, this piece of copy, this script that's written, and they will put it into a beautiful design that's fitting to the brand, that's, you know, that makes the copy stand out, makes it even more viral. Or they will, after the video has been recorded, they will edit the video. And in the beginning, of course, like in the beginning, if you just started out, you may produce content yourself, right? But after that, you'll maybe hire your first person to create content, and the second person. And always very important is that if the idea finding separated to the copywriting and the video editing and the graphic design. So you usually would have one person who is just looking through content. In the beginning, it can be, you know, outsourced, it can be part-time, right? And this person is looking for ideas, and then you have a second person who is actually putting those ideas into life with writing copy and creating the content out of that. And that's how we've built it. And the thing is, by having those daily interactions, those daily meetings, and they can be short, like sometimes they're only 20, 30 minutes long, right? With this, you first of all like build a stronger team because they actually spend more time together, talking together. Can be via Zoom, of course, if they're remote. And also you just get this like creativity inside the content, this collaboration, like people throw their ideas together and make something great out of it. And that's how we've kind of like built the content creation team.
There's one more thing that's very important, which happens
Maybe
in
one
those
second.
meetings.
Maybe
Yes.
as a little explanation really fast, what you guys mean with idea, because some people who are watching this video won't understand, like, hey, like what is he talking about? Like idea finder, ideas, this and that. So basically what that means is, like, on Instagram, there's a lot of content, right? You guys, if you follow like a business page or whatever, you see all those slideshows like, hey, 7 habits that made me a millionaire before 30, 8 visuals that will change your life, or that you need to see before you die, or I don't know, here's how much I made in the last 12 months with my theme page, right? Or I don't know, 15 ways how you can make your first $1,000 online. Like a lot of the content pieces, right? Like different ones, like hooks basically, right? Or 3 side hustles you can start today. Now, what the idea finder does is it goes through, so that person goes through social media every single day and searches for viral ideas, content that's proven to work, that got a lot of reach, a lot of likes, like, I don't know, 50,000 likes, right? And that fits into the brand, right? And that has virality, but also the you know, we talked about this earlier. On the one side, you have virality. On the other side, you have conversion, okay? Something that's, for example, you know, like viral only is 8 images you have to see before you die, right? Like it's not converting at all. It doesn't fit into your brand if you, for example, teach people how to build an Amazon business, right? But if you have something like, hey, 7 habits that made me a millionaire before I'm 30, it's viral, right? Maybe got 50,000 likes on Wealth, but it also attracts the right audience, people who want to become a millionaire, right? And then, you know, you have those ideas, and the idea finder presents the ideas to the copywriter, right? And the copywriter is then like, okay, slide 1 is 7 habits that made me a millionaire before 30, right? And the copywriter goes ahead and he creates those slideshows, right? Slide 1 is maybe habit 1, habit 2, habit 3, habit 4, habit 5, right? And while that the copywriter does storytelling, right? And it's not just random content, but content about yourself. Maybe he implements like storylines from, you know, habits that you built and where you failed, where you succeeded. And then at the end, maybe, you know, the last habit is something like, hey, but the number 1 habit that actually made me a millionaire is XYZ. And then it transitions into, if you want to learn how it works and how I built my Amazon business from $0 to $100,000 a month, then click link my bio for the free training, right? So you need this combination of like virality and conversion. And if you have, for example, a content piece like, hey, eight pictures you need to see before you die, it's going to be very hard for the copywriter to then put a call to action, be like, hey, you know, and if you want to learn how to make $100,000 online, then click link my bio. It just doesn't work, right? But if you attract the right audience at the beginning with a hook, with an idea that says, I don't know, 7 habits that made me a millionaire, it's going to be super easy for the copywriter to, you know, tell people, hey, you know, if you want to also become a millionaire and learn how I did it with Amazon FBA, link in bio, right? And yeah, that's basically the team structure. You have the idea finder who's searching for viral ideas that fit into the brand, that are viral and converting. You have the copywriter who then approves or disapproves the ideas and it's like, hey, I can turn this into a slideshow or into a content piece that converts. And then you have the graphic designer who puts all the content together. And that's how, yeah, that basically you want to produce 5, 6, 7 content pieces per day that fit into your brand, that are viral, that promote your link in bio and your product, that tell your stories, right? And if you do it correctly, then your whole Instagram feed is going to be, yeah, just like a money-making machine, right? That also builds your brand. It gets you a lot of leads, a lot of calls, a lot of sales, and it's going to be the heart of your business, the most important thing. Because from the Instagram feed, you will also get your promotional content for the influencer marketing, right? Because if you now post 5 times or 6 times per day within the Instagram feed, you don't have to do any guesswork anymore when it comes to the influencer marketing. Like I see so many people doing guesswork when it comes to influencer marketing, right? They take some random post, they just throw it out to a theme page, to Millionaire Mentor or Wealth or to whatever. They spend $500 and then it's just guesswork. Like, hey, will this work or not? Right? They have no idea. But if you have the Instagram feed, you have all the data, you have all the metrics, you can go into the insights, you can look up, hey, this post got XYZ impressions, this post got XYZ likes, and this post, and this is where it becomes interesting, got, I don't know, 250 link clicks, right? You can actually, within Instagram, in the insights, see, hey, this post has XYZ insights, link website tabs, right? And there can sometimes be huge difference. Like we have posts that have 15,000 likes, and they are super viral, but they only have like 50 website tabs. But then we have posts with 3,000 likes and they get 1,500 website tabs. And you know, you want to have this combination of virality and conversion. And yeah, like if you have the Instagram feed dialed in, and maybe we can show the content tracking sheet in a second. But if you have that dialed in, then you can just take the best content from the Instagram feed, right? And then you just send it to all your influencers and you globalize the content. Right, maybe Danny, you want to talk about that for a second?
Sure. I just want to say something before, which I want to say earlier when Max talked about the daily meetings, and I can't stress enough the importance of those daily interactions between the team. Another big reason why you should have the daily meetings, this might be like optimization on a higher level, and this like the leverage of this increases as your team size increases and as your volume of content increases, but is to, you want to eliminate waste early. And this comes from like manufacturing, right? So it's like the best time to kill an idea is at the idea stage, not in the copy stage, not in the design stage. Because the longer the idea travels through the production process, the more time of the team went into it. So the worst thing that can happen is the idea finder locks the idea himself, they don't meet. The copywriter just writes the idea, and then the designer, after the idea finder has spent time, the copywriters put in their time, and then the designer tells you he can't create it. Like, it's terrible, right? So what you want to do, what happens in the daily meetings is the idea finder pitches the idea, the copywriter can kill the idea right at the idea stage before he writes it, and the designer can kill the idea before the copywriter writes it too if he thinks that he can't execute it. Right. And we only let the ideas through that we all have a green light from the entire team, entire production, that they can actually turn this into quality idea that can actually post it. Because something that also usually happens when we didn't have the daily meetings, and it happened many times, is we created content and we never ended up posting it. Right. Because then later we came and we said, guys, this is not up to our standard, or guys, this is not the voice of our client. But if you have the daily meetings, then you get the green light from the entire team. Okay, this is good to go. And let's put this idea into production. But you asked me, Niklas, about the globalization, right?
Yeah.
And it's something very interesting. Basically, what is that? How do I explain it best?
Yeah, maybe
if you have an innovation, let's say you come up with a great piece of content, right? And you show it to your audience, and your audience loves this content. The first thing you want to do is you want to take this content and be the first person that's going to globalize this idea. Or on the other side, if you find a great idea from someone else that is taking off, but it hasn't been globalized yet. And globalized means basically
show it to more people.
You take something that works and you sell it, or you show it to more people, right? You spread it throughout the world. You should be the first one to globalize your ideas, and you should also be the first one who catches trends or your idea finders of other people, and then globalize these ideas, of course, not copying it, but adapting those trends to your own marketing message and what you're selling in your own brand, doing your own twist of it, and then globalizing. It's kind of like, imagine if Apple created the first iPhone and then they just sold it to like a few people. It would be stupid, right? No, like they want to sell the iPhone because it worked well on 10 people. They want to sell it to as many people as they could, right? And the same you should do with your content. If you have a great idea that works really well, you should show it to as many people as you can. And that's why you use your feed to experiment, to find the new inventions like the iPhone from Apple. And then you use the influencer marketing to globalize those ideas to attract even more followers so that the new experiments and the products or content you create ends up being seen by more people.
Okay, here we go again. Just had a little break. But anyways, back to the topic. Danny, you wanted to say something. Yeah.
Another thing that's important, not just globalizing, is that you remix a lot. And this is also something Steve Jobs loved doing. And for example, like Steve Jobs went to Xerox PARC, they invented mouse, right? He loved the invention. And he said, let's take this mouse and let's like add something to it. Let's remix the mouse and let's globalize it, right? And the same you should be doing with your content. So when you find something that hits well, right? Like when you have your big hit on your profile, what you do is you just repackage it, right? You if it's a design where, let's say, it's a picture of yourself and then some text on the picture, let's repackage it. Let's make it real, right? Or let's have you hold a whiteboard and put that copy on the whiteboard, or try to show it to people as the iPhone notes design, like just like you wrote a note on your iPhone notes and you screenshotted it, right? So like repackage the working ideas. And that's also something Apple is doing. Like they invented the iPhone, it performed really well, it sold well, they didn't stop. Like they invented the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. Just for them, it took a year to come up with the next one and to launch it. You can do it in a day, right? You can be remixing and repackaging stuff that works every single day, even multiple times a day. You don't even need a day, you need an hour, right? So as soon as something works, keep repackaging it until it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. That's another thing.
Yeah, you guys have probably, like, if you're watching this video and you're in the influencer marketing space, follow some theme pages, you've probably seen Bashar, right? And like sometimes, you know, Danny Max created content or the team created content where it's just Bashar and then there's a quote on it, right? But then sometimes there was Bashar holding a whiteboard and sometimes Bashar was there dancing around, right? In a reel. And by the way, you don't have to dance to make your content go viral. But yeah, the idea is basically remix the content and repackage it and put it into different designs once you have something that works. But yeah, when it comes to content that works, maybe let's show the content tracking sheet, because I think that's something super powerful. Because, you know, like most people, they just put out content in the feed and do random stuff. They don't take a look at the numbers, at nothing. They don't really know what's going on. They never even take a look at website tabs. They just do guesswork. And you guys have set up like an absolutely amazing content tracking sheet that first of all allows you to double down on what works, to really see, hey, what kind of posts are actually performing and bringing us sales and opt-ins and everything. And then, yeah, you can just do more of that and you can remix it, etc., etc.
Yeah, 100%. Let me show the sheet, sharing my screen. So,
by the way, quick question: Are we recording?
Oh yeah, we're 100%.
Yes.
Let me just
Cool.
double check.
We do.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we.
Awesome.
So, I'm not logged in for some reason. So if you look at this, I'll just change the account so I can edit stuff. If you look at this sheet, right? This is just for data entry, and this is something, you know, a VA can do, someone being logged into your Instagram account. You basically note down here when a piece of content was posted, who found the idea, who wrote it, who did the design, right? And they have the insights, and you can even put in like what kind of topic this was about. Was it talking about 9 to 5, recession, etc., and so on, you know? And then after you've done that, you can actually go to this this calculator here, and you can say, actually, I want to know how content performed from my second copywriter, right? And if you put this in here, you will see, okay, on average, this piece of content gets this many likes and this many comments and this many website tabs and everything. And the real beauty of this is also like this analysis tab here, where you can see trends. So you can either like you can go all time. You can also select a certain date range, but this is all time now. And this is about just example data. But what you can see, for example, is that over time, the stuff that the first copywriter wrote performs better, and over time the stuff that the other copywriter wrote performed worse, right? So you can see trends. And now there's no topic selected, but if you have, for example, 9 to 5, recession, or another topic, you can see that over time, maybe this topic recession is, like, going higher and higher, and see, okay, people really seem to like my posts when I talk about recession. Let's do more of them. Another thing you can see in here, besides what topics perform well and get many, likes, views, plays, clicks, and so on, is you see how much work is done by who. If you have later on more copywriters, you can see, for example, that maybe copywriter 2 writes 80% of the copy versus copywriter or with 20%, and they're maybe close to burning out because copywriter is lazy, not doing everything all day. And that's an issue we had, by the way. Like, we had someone in our team who was burning out because they were doing all the work from someone else and we didn't see it. And with this kind of sheet, you can really see who is doing how much, how it's working, the content of which person performs and which doesn't. And over time, you build up this huge library of content pieces. And you can even go ahead here and sort them, like sort them by A to Z, sort them by most played or most reached or most liked content. Or with sliders, you also have the website tabs, right? The clicks, how many people click the link in your bio, and you can see which sliders, which slideshows, carousel posts on Instagram got most people to click. And that's a very valuable data, because then you see like the top 20 posts, or those are the 20 posts that got the most clicks ever, right? And then you maybe see you have a new post that's super viral, gets a lot of reach, but it just doesn't convert. Well, maybe you can combine this new post, like Danny was talking about earlier, the remixing part. Maybe you can combine this very viral post with a fitting post that converted like crazy, that got people to buy. And now you have something that's super viral and super converting at the same time. So there's really a lot of value in having this sheet, and your content creation team will spend a lot of time in there looking at what's performing well, what's not performing well, and optimizing from there.
And to people who are watching now and they're thinking, that's great, Max, but I don't have the time to build a sheet like this, or I don't have the knowledge to build a sheet like this. Just so you know, all of those sheets that were Max, we talked about, the sheet that Max showed you now, and many more sheet, like influencer campaign planning, influencer content tracking, influencer payment tracking, content creation sheet, sales tracking sheets, everything we've ever used, everything we've ever created, working with Bashar and a couple of our clients, and the same goes to Niklas and Luca, and them scaling their own business. We're giving away as templates to all the club members, where they can just go into any of the sheets they need. They're ready to use, and they just copy the sheet, change the name, and you can start using your sheet. You don't have to create it. So
yes, yeah, 100%. And by the way, also one thing I wanted to add, which I forgot earlier. If you're maybe thinking, oh, but I'm just starting out, I don't want to have a team of 3 people in the content creation, and that's completely overwhelming. Yeah, I get how that feels. Like, for us, the thought of like running a big team like 2 years ago was crazy too. But for the beginning, literally, like, you can just do it yourself. Like, you can look through Instagram for viral ideas. There's even like a nice tool called viralfinder.com that can help you like scan pages and seeing the most viral content. And you can do everything in the beginning alone. And then probably your first hire will be someone who's then after you see it works, right? And you get results and you make money. And that's nice, because if you do it yourself in the beginning, you'll actually see what works, what doesn't work. You'll develop a feeling for it, right? And then you can hire potentially a person that takes over writing the copy and doing the graphic design. So your first hire, right, just first person, will probably help you writing the copy. You still will look for the ideas, right? The hooks, the viral stuff, because you develop the feeling for that. You're still doing that, but now this like actually writing the text, the scripts, right, and putting them into the design or editing the video. That's time consuming, and there are a lot of great copywriters and video editors out there. So you can just hire one person for doing that, and boom, you like got 50% or like even 70%, because it's a lot of work of your time back, which you can now put into find better ideas. And later on, as you scale, you realize, oh, actually, everything is working well, but I can't spend 2 hours per day or 1.5 hours per day looking for ideas, because I have other things to do with my business, or I want to have more free time, whatever. And then you look for a person finding ideas. That's probably your second hire. right? And they will now, and now you can even like show them how you do it, what works, what doesn't work, and over the process of 1-2 months, they will get it more and more until you're at a point where you have like one idea finder and one person producing the content. It's just 2 people over like the course of a few months, and they're doing everything, right? They're doing your whole content, everything, and all you have to do with them is have a weekly meeting, right, where we check in how everything is going, using some quality control, right? So you can basically, if you set it up right, with probably 1 hour per week, 1 efficient hour, manage your entire content creation team, right? So that's really powerful and something you definitely do. And then as you go later on, you can hire more people. You can have maybe a separate copywriter and another person for video editing separate, right? But that's also advanced stuff. So just keep in mind, everyone started small. Everyone's starting small. You can do it yourself and then slowly hire the right people into the team. Doesn't go overnight. It doesn't have to. So just don't get scared. And yeah, it's, you know, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, for sure. Let's maybe talk about Consulting Club, right? Because I think many of the people who are watching this video right now, they maybe have a business, want to start a business, they're making 20K, 50K, $100,000 a month, $500,000 a month, and they see the potential of influencer marketing. They want to utilize it and, you know, like get their business to the next level. And yeah, that's basically where Consulting Club came into place. And it's basically like we're basically looking for more Bashars. We want to partner with a few hand-selected people, and we want to give them absolutely everything that we have and that they need to take their business to the next level. But yeah, maybe before we explain what exactly Consulting Club is, who we are looking for, how the partnership looks like, right? Why we want to partner with people and not just, you know, like the typical online course or mastermind, you take the money, they join, and that's it. Like we wanted to align our interests and really become business partners because, you know, if the clients, if you as a client win, right, then we win too, right? And we wanted to just create a big win-win situation, and we're looking for a few more partners. But maybe before that, let's talk about like how we came up with the idea of Consulting Club and how it basically all started, because I think the story behind it is quite interesting.
100%. So, you know, where do we start? I think
because it all started with a simple call, right?
Yeah, it all started basically like I've known, like that's basically when it started like 5 years ago. So Danny and I, we know each other for 5 years now. Like I was back in the days running my Instagram theme pages, starting my entrepreneurial journey, started making the first money, right? And I was documenting everything on my theme page and doing like stories. Hey guys, you know, I reached 10,000 followers now, made my first money and everything. And then one day, and I think it was in 2018 at the beginning, like this random guy just reached out to me and was like, hey, can I pay you for a coaching call? Can you teach me like how this whole thing works? And that was actually Danny, right? You reached out to me back in the days in 2018 and asked me for a coaching call. And you were my first client. I don't know, it was like $50 or something that you paid me for like 30 minutes or $60 for like 1 hour, something like this.
Yeah, and I think it's some deal in place. Like you told me $50 for 60 minutes, and then every additional 60 minutes, I think you charge like $30 or so.
Yeah, something like this. But yeah, we hopped on the call. You had a theme page back in the days, right? My one was like growing faster. I was already making money. You wanted to learn how the whole thing works. And then, yeah, we hopped on the call. I explained to you what I'm doing. And then after, yeah, I think you continue to grow your theme page, got it to like 300,000 followers. And then one day, Bashar wanted to buy shoutouts on your page. And that's how you guys first got in touch with Bashar, right?
Yes, we were, and before I go into that, by the way, and this is the importance of mentorship, I was trying to build a theme page for a year and a half before I met Niklas. And the theme page grew, I think, to 2,000-3,000 followers in this 1.5 years. And then after I met Niklas, and I just, again, as he said, paid him for that call. And he gave me like the most important knowledge I needed. And I wrote it down on paper. I always remember. I still have that paper somewhere. And I just did everything he said, like one by one. I didn't miss one thing. And 2 weeks later, I think my team page already, the new one, outgrew the one that I was building for 1.5 years. I think a month later, I had over 10,000 followers or something. Like it was incredible, like how much faster the team page grew. And I was shocked. And ever since then, we've been really investing in mentorship and really going to all the people we can and learning from them. And it's also one of the biggest, I would say, things I would suggest anyone if they want to grow. This is also the biggest reason why we were able to scale Bashar this quickly, is we always looked at what are we missing, who knows it, and how can we get it, right? And this was our approach. But back to the story. Where were we?
I was just talking about that, you know, you grew your theme page, and then one day Bashar reached out and he wanted to buy a shout out. And then, you know, he sent you this like shitty content, right? Like you knew, hey, this content won't perform. And that's how you guys, long story short, in 2020 started talking. And then, you know, at the end of 2020, you started taking over Bashar's influencer marketing and all the content in the feed. And, you know, we talked about it earlier. You grew him to over $20 million cash collected in another 2 years, over 2.7 million followers from zero. And yeah, after, you know, I think you at one point you stopped working with Bashar, you onboarded your new client, and then, you know, you launched your own mastermind or coaching program.
Yeah. And maybe Niklas, a little bit backstory on that, like how we came to that. Because after we stopped working with Bashar, as you can probably imagine, we had a lot of people who wanted to work with us, you know, like asked us, hey, can you do the shoutouts for us? Can you like do our content and everything? And we're just like, we didn't want to turn into just another agency with like 20, 30 clients, because what we always noticed is that if an agency has too many clients, and it's even like 5, 10, 20 clients, there's usually 1, 2 clients that scream the most, they get the most attention, and all the other clients are kind of like being neglected. And we just hated that. Like we didn't like that kind of concept. We like to have what we call like 4-season service, right? And like really great results. So like, okay, doing the marketing for other people, it's not scalable, right? We can't help all the people that we want to help, right? So we're like, what can we do? What can we do? Of course, launching a course, very, very interesting, but we didn't just want to launch another course. So like, we thought, what can we do? And the conclusion for us was like, let's create a mastermind for high-level business owners where we teach what we've learned with Bashar, everything, the processes, systems, the failures, the wins, everything. We'll give all the knowledge, we'll pass on all the knowledge, right? And we loved the idea, so we just took action. We literally launched it in like I think 2 days, right? We just started to launch it, and one of our first clients was Niklas, right? And Luca, they joined our mastermind, and they really liked it, right? And then, you know, we of course wanted to scale it, and we asked them, hey guys, do you know some other people who'd be great fit for that mastermind? And Niklas said, yes, I know a lot of people, because they, you know, as you know, Niklas is in the coaching and consulting space and teaches people how to make money with Instagram. And yes, of course, but like I kind of have like my own mastermind, right? It's like it doesn't really make sense to promote. And then he offers, why don't we do a merge? Like, why don't we merge those masterminds? Because Niklas has like great, like insane knowledge about funnels, offer building. Niklas and Luca, like they're really insane at that. Also influencer marketing. And Danny and I have more knowledge about content creation and influencer marketing in particular, right? So like, oh, if you really want to help business owners like scale to the next level, like this is the perfect combination that we could have. So long story short, we decided to merge together and create like a very like unique elite club, right? For business owners, where they get everything they need to scale their business, from marketing, front marketing, over to the funnel, to the offer creation, all the way to sales, product, everything. And give them everything they need to scale to 8 figures and beyond.
Yeah. And one thing to note over here, right? Because we mentioned the word mastermind before. Like, this is not a mastermind. This is not your typical online coaching or program or whatever. Like, absolutely not at all, right? We didn't want to create anything like that, where, I don't know, our clients join a mastermind, they pay, I don't know, $36,000, $72,000. They're just clients and they implement the stuff. Like, we wanted to create something different, something unique, right? And that's where we're like, hey, like, how can we really make this amazing and build something different, where the interests of us as the founders of the club, of the mastermind, however you want to call it, are aligned with the interests of the actual clients. Because now if you go ahead and you join a random mastermind for $72,000, like, the owner, of course, he cares about you, but not really, right? Like, sure, he wants to get you results, wants to get another testimonial, but you know, if you succeed or not, like it doesn't really matter to him, right? We wanted to create something different. We wanted to align the interests, and that's why we are looking for a few hand-selected people that we can actually partner with, right? Where you don't just pay us a fee and that's it, but where we with percentages go into your business and where the interests really are aligned, right? And that's why we decided that we, you know, with every client that we work with, what we'll do is we'll take a baseline in their business, and let's say you're doing $100,000 a month right now, right? And that's your baseline of cash collected. Okay, we don't want to have a single penny of that, right? Like that's your hard work. That's the stuff that you've built, right? We don't want to touch that, but we would love to help you scale to $250,000 a month, to $500,000 a month, to $1 million a month, right? And what we would do is we would take a really, really small cut of the extra money that you make, right? So if you go from 100K to 500K, the difference is $400,000. And we would really take a small, little tiny cut of that, so that the interests are aligned, right? We are business partners. And if you succeed, then we succeed, right? Now, if that sounds interesting for you, down below this video, you will find like an application, right? Where you really like hand select the people that we want to work with. You can fill it out. After that, you can book a call, right? And we'll then speak and take a look at your business and where you are right now. And that's not your like typical sales call or whatever, right? Like this is what it's not. We really want to get to know you as a person, who you are, your business, see what problems you currently have, right? And see if we can help you, right? And we'll only accept you as a client, as a partner, if we are confident about helping you, because otherwise, you know, we'll just waste our time, you will waste your time, and it's like a lose-lose, right? But if we see the potential, know with 100% confidence that we can help you take your business to the next level, then we would love to partner with you and help you scale, right? So yeah, the button is down below, but yeah, I think we can go a little bit more into detail of, you know, what Consulting Club includes, and you know how this partnership looks like.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, basically, Consulting Club, the way it works, like it's a platform where, you know, where we share all our value, like everything we've learned, we're sharing in there. We have put everything into like templates and all that, but it's much more than that. And a big part of Consulting Club is also the community we have in there. So, for example, there's a weekly live call that's 90 minutes, but usually it goes like for for at least 2 or 3 hours. Like
all of them
yeah.
have been 4 hours plus.
Yeah. So like we're just making sure all questions are answered in those live calls. The beautiful thing is someone asks a question, right? And we answer, but the answer is, you know, not just for that member, but everyone else hears the answer too, and they get the value too. And then of course there are some people, very helpful people in the mastermind, who are like experts in certain fields. And of course, sometimes there are questions where they are more qualified to answer than us, and then they will answer, right? So it's really like awesome, because this club, and because like it's such a strict application process, right? That only high level people can come in. The questions that are being asked are high level, and the answers that are coming from us and the members are super high level. So the value you're getting from just the calls and listening and asking questions is insane. And then of course, Niklas is currently showing the community inside school.
Let's talk about the members for a second, right? Because
I just want to add something to what Max said regarding calls, because people might be wondering, okay, cool, there's the community, but are you guys also in those calls? And the answer is, unless one of us is terribly sick and can make it to the call, all 4 of us are in those calls, always there to answer your questions. And then, as Max said, like additionally, the whole community too.
Yeah. And as you can see, for example, like right now, this guy over here is online, Philip Johansson, right? He's doing $3.9 million a month currently, right? And less than a year ago, he was just making $30,000 a month, right? So the community that we've built is really, 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 really high level. All of the people in here at least make $20,000 a month. Phil at the top is doing $3.9 million a month. And I think I can just walk you through some of the members over here to give you an idea of like what this, you know, club is like, right? Because it's not your average mastermind. It's not a simple course. Like this thing is different, right? Valentino, for example, he's making about $30,000 a month right now and has over 3 million followers on Instagram. Nick Hauser, maybe Danny Max, you guys want to talk about this for a second?
Yeah. So Nick and Nick G and Nick Hauser, they are part of the School team. School is actually part of the platform that this is hosted on. School is founded by Sam Ovens. I think most of you probably know him. He's the founder of consulting.com. He's basically the godfather of consulting, you could say, in a way. And his team now joined with School, and we'll be, you know, helping them figure out how they can promote School, like a software, with influencer marketing, because then they also have a software company we're working on, and we're also like now about to launch this one with influencer marketing. So they're here to exchange some value, and yeah, that's the school team. And yeah, go ahead, Niklas.
Then we have Selena from Confidently Woman, right? Instagram page with over 700,000 followers. They're currently making over $100,000 a month. Oliver's in here, right? He's a day trading coach in the German market. In some month, he did over $500,000 cash collected, right? Right now, last month, I think he posted in the community, he did over 220,000 euros cash collected, right? You can see Robert is over here. He has over 500,000 followers in the German market. Luke, he has one of the biggest affiliate networks on Instagram. Leroux is running the influencer campaigns in the marketing for Lenny Nick Banks, right? Maybe some of you guys know them. James, he has an Airbnb coaching business, making over $100,000 a month. Maribel from Confidently Woman is in here, right? Taha is in here. He's running an undercover personal brand, right? Making over $30,000 a month. Philip doing $3.9 million a month. Jan is doing about $100,000 a month. Stefan is doing $50,000 a month, right? Jesse Clark from consulting.com and school is in here too. Andy from Greystone Trading on Instagram, right? He has for the first 6 months of this year or 5 months of the year consistently been making over $500,000 cash collected. Been teaching people, by teaching people about option trading, right? And he nearly does it without showing himself. Right now, he's scaling to $1 million a month. Adam, a friend of mine, is in here, right? He made over 1.3 million euros in under 10 minutes without ads. He even got an award about that or for that. We have Maurice, my personal health and performance coach, in here, who's helping people with health and performance, but we'll talk about that in a second. We have Simon Desio in here, one of the biggest influencers in the German space, right? Tarek, he's a top sales rep, or was one of the top sales reps here in Dubai for Rolex, sold over 140 million dirhams of watches in 3 years, over 10,000 clients, and we brought him on as a special guest, right? Teaching people about watches, how to invest, how to select the right ones. Raoul Plicat is in here in the mastermind too, as a special guest, right? We're talking to him and the whole Copecard team, which is a payment processor, right? Because we know that a lot of people are struggling with like Stripe and PayPal, right? And Raoul has the perfect solution. And Raoul is one of the, I think, one of the best online marketers worldwide, right? He's built Copecard. He's like 29 years old now. Copecard got evaluated over 200 million euros, right? He has built some of the biggest brands behind the scenes in the German market, like Dirk Kräuter doing over 50 million euros per year, Barley Consulting doing over 30 million euros a year. And we're talking to him right now so that we can partner up and he can bring some value to the community, and you guys get the best, kind of like conditions and percentages with Copecard and like some extra deals. Then we have an undercover crypto guy in here, right? We'll be teaching you guys a little bit about crypto and DeFi and everything. He was part of the investment team at Binance, right? Worked very close with the founder, so that's cool. Markus Dank is in here doing over 150,000 euros a month. Michael in here, and in general, just a lot of awesome people, right? And that's also what we wanted to build and do when we first came up with Consulting Club, right? We didn't just want to partner with people, but we wanted to give our partners absolutely everything that they need to succeed in this online business world, but not just online business, but also stuff like health and performance, crypto, et cetera, and just connect them with absolutely amazing, like-minded people, right? And that's why we decided to also build this community, right? Where every partner can talk to each other, help each other out, because sometimes the entrepreneurial journey, it can be lonely, right? If you're living in a small town somewhere around the world, whatever, maybe you don't have friends close to you who are into business that you can talk to, right? I remember how it was back in the days for me. I started my business. I had no one really to talk to brainstorm with, right? And it was a lonely journey for a long time, right? Now, luckily, living here in Dubai, right, I have a lot of people, like my whole social circle is business owners, and I've learned so much for them, and was able to take my business to the next level because of the friends and the community that I have here, right? And that's what we wanted to build with Consulting Club too. And
we're just talking. I can give you a great example. We're just talking to someone who is in the consulting club. I'm not going to mention the name here. And he was just telling us, we asked him yesterday, so how was your experience? And he was like, it's been amazing. I just met this guy. He's in a club. I met many people, but this guy, he lives like a few hours away from me. And we just made a plan. We're going to fly together to the first club event in Cannes. So we're going to meet before, and then we're going to fly together. And it's absolutely amazing that I'm meeting people who are in the same business as me, and I'm connecting with them. I'm making new friends, valuable relationships, and we both have the same goals, the same problems, and we can help each other, right? So it's just great.
Yeah, and Max, Danny, sorry, you mentioned the live event, right? One thing that we'll also do with all partners is actually like twice a year we are hosting in-person events, right? We talked about this amazing villa earlier in the video. The first live event is actually going to be this year, this summer in Cannes, in this absolutely amazing property, 3 days. And we'll do events like this twice a year, offline, in person, so we can meet up, connect, have a great time, learn a lot of stuff, and help each other out. And twice a year we will do online events, right? And
so like
maybe
it's 4 events per year, two online and there's two in person.
Guest speaker. We get the guest speaker who's coming to the villa this year.
Yes, you guys can see.
By the way, mark the dates, 18th to 20th of August 2023. It's gonna be amazing.
Exactly. That's where the first live event is happening. And as a special guest, Ty Lopez, the man himself, who with his business partner Alex Mayer has spent over $1 billion on Facebook ads. I think everyone watching this video right now probably knows Ty, right? And he's actually not just going to be coming to the in-person event, right, as a special guest, but he will on a quarterly base train all of our partners and do special live calls with them. And maybe you wanna listen to the voice note that he sent me on WhatsApp. This was one of the first voices he sent me end of May. Right by now, the deal and everything is finalized. He's 100% coming to the event, and but you can listen to this. What Ty has to say.
Hey, Niklas. We were talking on Insta, but I figured I'd pop in here. So yes, I can come do some events. Now, the Zoom ones are easier. So how many are you wanting me to do in person? Because I don't want to overpromise. You know what I mean? So you were going to, come to my events, get tickets. That's good. What were you thinking of me? Zoom mastermind, your mastermind versus in-person mastermind. I'm not going to be able to do 4 times come to your mastermind. I don't think that's realistic. But I could come once, take a trip to Cannes. I've been there before. So yeah, let me know some dates and let's make it happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and by the way, if you're watching this video after August 18th to 20th, there will be a lot more great events coming. So don't worry. 2 times per year in person and 2 times per year online, right? So a lot of stuff is still coming and being worked out. And also to add maybe, besides the live calls and besides go ahead.
Before we continue, let's maybe talk about some of the special guests, right, that we are planning to bring on. Some of them are already confirmed. Some of them we're still speaking to about it. But maybe Danny, you wanna, or Max, like one of you guys, wanna talk about the special guests who will be joining us and who will be teaching our partners and bringing value to them.
I can do it if Max, you don't mind.
Go ahead, Danny.
Sure. So one is Ty Lopez, right? But that's already been said. Second one is Eric Damier, who is the founder of Earth Pigs and History Photographed. And those are the biggest Earth Pigs, biggest travel page on Instagram, History Photographed, biggest history page on Instagram, and also the favorite Instagram page from Instagram CEO himself, Adam Mosseri, by the way. And Eric has been building great things in the back end too, and has his own software company in travel niche. I can't share more about it because it's still not officially launched yet. But he's going to be coming and sharing all of his experience and a lot which he has learned throughout his entrepreneurial career, and he's had a long one and a big one. Then we are going to have Greg, who is the FTC lawyer from Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, come as guests, and he's going to be sharing with our club members everything they need to know about FTC compliance, so that once you do grow your e-learning business, that you don't get shut down by FTC or you don't get sued by the FTC like Dean Graziosi did himself. Then we're going to have the best sales reps from Tony Robbins come and speak about sales and how to build a great sales team. And those are Eli Wild and Eli Sanchez, right? So they're going to be coming as special guests. We're working on bringing people like Jim Quick, but that's not 100% confirmed yet. for next events after this one, and just many more. And then next to like those events, we also offer, and I think it's very important, and I wish me and Max would have had that when we're scaling Bashar, is so-called, we call it the catalog of services. And the catalog of services is the place where you as a business owners can get any contact like at your fingertips, right? So you want someone to teach your copywriters, we're going to give you the best coach for copywriters, who was the ex-coach, who was the head of copy for Danlock. You want the best salesperson teach your sales team, we're going to give it to them. Do you want the guy who can get your account restored if it gets shut down? We're not going to give you one, we're not going to give you two, we're going to give you 3 guys who can get your account back if it gets shut down. You want to whitelist your account so it can't even get shut down? We're going to give you a guy for that. Like every person you would need to scale your e-learning business ever is going to be in the catalog of services, and not just any person, but the best people we ever met. Me, Max, Luca, Niklas, the best people we've ever met, the best contacts we've ever created, we have put in the catalog of services, and you can get them at your fingertips.
Exactly. To give you an example, like, and the best prices, yes. To give you an example, right? Like this one over here is the portfolio and one of the designs and visual identities that Victor Weiss did, right? He's one of the best, like graphic designers and everything in the world. He actually, won multiple A design awards. He even won against Coca-Cola, Pepsi, etc., etc. And yeah, you can check him out. Normally he doesn't take on any clients, right? He's just working exclusively with a few people, right? And you guys can see the prices over here. But to give you one example, I've known him for a long time now, and yeah, let's maybe talk about the community also, right? Because
just to maybe for everybody who's watching, just to kind of like sum it up what Consulting Club is. And it's basically a few things, and all of which are very important for you to grow the business. One is you have the community on school where you can ask anyone questions and you can get responses. And you don't get responses just from me, Max, Niklas, Luca. You get responses from all the other people in the community too. Why? Because we've set up incentive structures around those, which we're going to share in a second. But that's one thing is the community where you can ask anyone anything. The second thing is the weekly Q&A calls with all 4 of us and other members, right? So you can ask us questions, you can ask other people questions, they can ask you questions, and you guys can exchange the know-how to grow quicker. The third thing is the events. There's 4 events per year, 1 every quarter, 2 live and 2 virtual. The next thing is the catalog of services, which is basically every contact you are ever gonna need. You can access them directly and talk to them directly and get the best prices. You don't have to look outward and try to like somehow through connections get in, but you actually have them in the catalog of services. And the last thing, which is also super important, you guys have seen the sales tracking sheet, is we put all of the resources we've accumulated for the past, Niklas, 5 years, us 2.5 years, into this one thing where you guys can access all of our tracking sheets. Like everything we've ever built, you could just take it, copy it, apply it to your business, and avoid mistakes that are costing you millions of dollars. And this is not over exaggerating. A lot of mistakes we've made have cost us millions of dollars.
Yeah. Let's maybe talk about the leaderboard really fast, right? Because, the community that we've built over here is super extremely active, and everyone is helping each other out, right? First of all, of course, because, everyone is high level, right? Like we don't have any beginners in here, but also because of the leaderboard. And the way how it works is that there's different incentives for different levels. You can see over here, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And the way how you level up is you need points, right? And how do you get the points? Very simple. By posting something valuable in the community, right? By getting likes. So over here, for example, Jan Philip, right? He posted, hey, monetizing theme pages. I just started to monetize one of my theme pages. I grew it first before saying shout out. I started 7 days ago and already made $6,000 in net profit, right? And then people comment, he's getting likes, etc., etc. And the more likes you get, the more you level up over here on the leaderboard. And with every level, you unlock something really, really special. For example, over here, Four Seasons Bora Bora 2024 trip. Over here, you get a welcome box shipped to your home, right? Where we have some special surprises for you. Over here, you get access to travel hacks, right? From people who have traveled over like 60 countries, right? How to, when to go where, how to get insane, like 70, 80% discounts on hotels, how to get first and business class flights, all that good stuff, right? Over here, you get direct access to all of the top-notch influencers and theme pages that Danny Max have worked with scaling Bashar. You get their phone numbers, right? And their Telegram accesses. So we've built, cool incentives for the community to be active. And that's why everything is working so well, why everyone is so active, right? And you can also see people's wins in here, right? Luke said, hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I've already hit my record month after we've been in June for 7 days so far. So after 7 days, he had his record month. Oliver said over 200,000 euros cash collected in May, right? Shout out deal from Robert over here for 2,000 euros. He posted another one, 5,500 euros over here. Stefan posted results for May, $53,000. Maribel posted over here after the live call, and this is the results of the last 5 days. 5 reels went viral, right? More than 1,000 link clicks. We already collected over 120 qualified leads. I got a lot of new followers, etc., etc. My direct messages are exploding, right? And the calendar is fully booked out, right? She mentioned in here, right? So the community was super important to us. I think we've built it in an absolutely amazing way. And that's basically Consulting Club. And we're looking for a few more partners. And if you're watching this right now and you think that you're a great fit, you can fill out the application down below, right? We'll hop on a call, see if everything makes sense, if we can help you scale your business, and if it makes sense to partner. And and
you don't need a mustache like Bashar to help you. Just we help not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 people who didn't have one, so we can help you too.
Yes. And by the way, for Consulting Club, we are just getting started. This project started like a month ago, right? This is what we've built so far. All of the special guests, the people inside, etc., etc. This all, got built within the month, right? And we are all in, right? This is our main business now. I've been running my personal brand, my coaching business for quite a long time, for 5 years now. And I made really, 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 really good money with it. Learned a lot of things, built something amazing. And I'm super grateful for the time. And I'll continue running the business, but this is kind of like my new baby, right? Because first of all, it's super fun working with Danny, Max, and Luca, but also this is where we all we see Consulting Club and the partnerships as our next step as an entrepreneur, right? Because I've been running my business, and if I implement something, right, and I grow the business by 10%, cool, nice, I make some extra money. But now if we go ahead and we share what we've learned, what I apply in my business, and it makes a 10% growth, it helps all the other clients and the partners make an extra 10%, then that's just win-win, right? Because if they make more money, we also make more money, right? And that's how we as an entrepreneur want to get to the next level. This thing, you can watch it, you can follow us for the next couple of months and years. It is going to blow up, right? There's no way around it. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And at one point, we'll close the doors because, think about it. At one point, it doesn't make sense for us to onboard new clients anymore, right? And to find new partners, because we'll make more money focusing on the ones who are already inside. To give you an example, for Phil, who's doing a $3.9 million a month right now, like we with a fingertip, we want to call with him yesterday, can implement something where he goes from $3.9 million a month to $5 to $6 million a month, right? And we, of that extra money that he makes, we have a share of that, a cut of that, right? And we can just focus on the existing clients and help them, and we'll make more money than by onboarding new clients. We don't know when that point is going to come, but it will come in the future, right? And that's when we'll close everything down, and we will not, accept any new clients anymore. So if this sounds interesting for you, put yourself on the application list by clicking the button below this video, right? Just fill everything out. We'll then kind of have you on the radar. We know who you are. We'll hop on a call. We'll get to know you. We'll start speaking and see if working together makes sense. Maybe not right now, maybe in 2 months, maybe in 3 months. But if you get in touch with us, then you're one step closer to having us as your business partners. And that's I guess it from my side. What about you guys? Anything else to mention, to say?
I have to say, me and Max have been a part of many masterminds for the past 2.5 years. And we've never seen something even close to as good as what we've built here. And I just wish there was something like this 2.5 years ago when we were starting out. Because I understand fully the value of it and everything that is inside. And I can really highly recommend anyone who's in the e-learning space to try to get in if they can. Of course, if we're right fits, right? Because there's so much more that you can lose if you don't do it than how much you can gain if you do.
Yeah, that's always like how we looked at when we are investing in ourselves, right? Like, what do you ask stuff like usually the question for us is like, not can we afford this, right? Can we like, does it make sense to get this mentorship? But like, can we afford not to have it? You know, like that's the big thing. And many times we said, oh no, actually we can't afford to not know how to scale and how to keep growing. And yeah, we kept investing, and that's where we are today. And yeah.
I think something that many people don't understand is opportunity cost, right? You guys have to think about it this way. Every month where you don't make $100,000 or $500,000 or $1 million, you lose those $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, right? If you're making $20,000 a month right now, every single month where you don't make $100,000, you lose $80,000, right? So yeah, that's why we want to partner with e-learning business owners and help them scale faster. We want to create a big win-win, right? Where everyone is just extremely happy and gets results and makes money, and we just want to have a great time together, right? So yeah, if that sounds interesting, link is down below, right? Let's speak. Let's have a look at your business. Let's get to know each other. See if the whole thing makes sense, right? As I already said, like early on, you know, you can apply down below, right? And then, you know, if we see that things make sense, we'll schedule a call together. It's nothing like a sales call or whatever, right? We'll get to know each other personally. We'll get to know your business, and then if we really think and are 100% confident about that we can help you take your business to the next level, then we'll make you an offer, right, for partnering. And yeah.
Remember, the worst thing you can add to your decision is time. Okay, so book a call. We'll see you on that call. We'll chat, and if everything fits, we'll scale you. And if it doesn't, we won't. Okay.
Easy.
Everyone.
Yes. Cool. So I guess that's it for the video. I hope for everyone who watched and who watch this video, this kind of like podcast until the end, that you also got a lot of value from it, right? Because that's always the goal for us. No matter what we do, is just provide a shit ton of value and help people for free, right? That's what we always do and did and will continue to do. So you will also in the future see a lot of great content on our socials, right? On like YouTube, podcast, maybe in the future, Instagram. And yeah, I'm excited for the next couple of years.
Let's get it.
Good. Bam.
All right.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.